right, we are also joined by our special guest this hour, Brigadier Anil Gupta, who's also joining us on the broadcast. Sir, your first reaction to this massive global propaganda that has been launched by Pakistan, attempts to give wind to the anti-India sentiments as well through social media influencers and several other such ex-diplomats as well. And in this Republic Special Investigation, it has also revealed how these are Pak-based politicians, bloggers, influencers that had plotted a series of anti-India events worldwide on August 5th.
Richa, you see, after the Islamophobia campaign launched by Imran Khan failed, Pakistan has been trying desperately to portray India in bad light. And now, when the 5th August comes, every year they have been trying for the last 2 years to create problem in Kashmir as well as mobilize international opinion against India. On both the occasions, they have failed. They are trying again. The problem with Pakistan is that Pakistan cannot come to the terms that Kashmir is no more an issue. Kashmiris are happy. Kashmiris have welcomed abrogation of 370. They are looking for a brighter future. They want to be part and parcel of a India which is on the upward path. These type of things are not acceptable to Imran Khan and Pakistan. What Imran Khan and Pakistan want is mayhem in Kashmir. They want bloodshed in Kashmir. They want hartals. They want Pakistan, the Kashmir economy to go to a low like theirs. So all these things combined, this is what Pakistan is now trying to do. By trying to mobilize international opinion against August 5, which Pakistan has repeatedly failed. Pakistan is desperately trying to remain relevant as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. But India's stand is very clear. Jammu and Kashmir is not an issue. The issue between Pakistan and India is the vacation of Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, which Pakistan has been forcibly occupying since 1947, despite the UN resolutions demanding Pakistan to vacate POJK.
Absolutely. In fact, we're also joined by Major General Rajan Kochar. Sir, your first reaction to this. Meanwhile, if we take a closer look at its entire toolkit, they are not just using social media, hashtag Twitter storm and protest near Indian embassies across the world, but also candlelight marches. They've also, in a way, spoken to their own embassies across the world to, in a way, flare up these anti-India sentiments through, in a way, globalizing this entire issue.
You are absolutely right. Pakistan has reached a state of desperation today. And why I say that is because things are progressing incrementally in Jammu and Kashmir. A recent visit of the Prime Minister there, meeting all the political parties getting together with a consensus, and things going back to normalcy. And Pakistan feels that it is now running out of time. And therefore, these measures in desperation, same time, the infiltration also has reduced. This year, there has been a drop in almost 70% of infiltration of terrorists. So, incidents are not happening. Domination of the Indian army and the intelligence agencies is there in Jammu and Kashmir, and they are not able to establish a foothold there. The economic agenda of the government is also in place. Jobs are being generated, employment is there, industries are coming to J&K. So things are returning to normal, and this new normal is not palatable to Imran Khan, and he's resorting to these kind of desperate measures.
Absolutely. All right. Going back to Brigadier Anil Gupta. Brigadier Anil Gupta, if we take a closer look at the situation in the entire Valley region post the abrogation of Article 370, the forces have made sure that there is a cleanup that happens. Even yesterday, there was news that we had reported extensively about how a very most wanted terrorist has been gunned down by our forces as well. Is this another way Pakistan is attempting to, in a way, raise these anti-India sentiments, trying to mobilize more and more people across the world? In the past as well, we have reported certain similar incidences of what had happened during the farmers' agitation and protest as well, where they once again had tried to, in a way, instigate global voices against India.
You are right, Richa. See, what's happened is that infiltration may have come down, but Pakistan's support or Pakistan attempt to ensure that the Kashmir remains on boil and terrorism continues has not decreased. The recent drone droppings, the tried drone attacks or drones being sent with IEDs, all this is meant to ensure that terrorism continues to flourish in Jammu and Kashmir. And also, Pakistan wants to use this tool of terrorism to start communal riots somewhere south of Pir Panjal in the area of Jammu, so that it can then publicize and then come out with this again Islamophobia thing and say, look, what's happening in Jammu, the minority is being targeted. So these type of propaganda Imran Khan and his team has been trying. Also, the success with the security forces has got. It's not only the success with the security forces have got, the terrorists are being eliminated. The terror support network, which is much more important and much more difficult to eliminate, is also being eliminated. Apart from the terror supporters, sympathizers being held up by the security forces or by the investigation agencies, the government has also started a process of cleanup, and all those who are known to be sympathizers to the terrorism or anti-national activity involved in anti-national activities, they have been terminated from the government services, including the sons of Sayyid Salahuddin. So these type of things are not palatable to Pakistan. Pakistan is not able to accept these things. Pakistan thinks that any action taken by India or the government of India in Jammu and Kashmir is anti-Muslim. That's not so. That's not a fact. The Kashmiris themselves realize the Kashmiris have been so fed up of corruption that measures taken by the government, anti-corruption measures taken by the government, are welcome at each and everybody. Because it was because of corruption that a common Kashmiri life has become miserable, from bad to worse. Today, they are seeing hope. Today, they are seeing the government which is functional, the government which is trying to eliminate corruption, the government which is for them. The government policies, proposals, lot of government proposals are meant purely for the people and for the welfare of the people. These type of things, Pakistan is not able to come to terms with.
Absolutely. All right. We'll also take a quick word from my colleague Gursimran, who's also joining us live from Jammu. Gursimran, if we take a closer look at this entire toolkit, this is not just a narrative that is being set, but also a sentiment that they are trying to plan against the country. Another massive global propaganda being launched by Pakistan. Help us understand certain elements of this entire toolkit.
Pakistan, the rogue nation which has failed to work on the action plans given by the FATF, has started action plan to defame India, and they are just trying to defame India in the international community. They are now focusing on the Western world so that they can portray an image of the Western world that all is not well in Jammu and Kashmir and India is doing atrocities. They have planned to carry out protests outside the Indian embassies on August 5. They have planned to, they have hired influencers, bloggers, so that they can write the things that can defame India on the international platform. But this is the way Pakistan has been doing it since ages, but they have got nothing from out of it, because India has time and again proved in the international community that, see, this is Jammu and Kashmir, this is open to you all. You all come and see yourself the change which is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Because the people of Jammu and Kashmir, when they see themselves free, when they see that the change is happening on ground, development is happening on ground, for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, it is no more Azadi. It is about now that how development will take place, how Jammu and Kashmir will move further in the path of development. So this is what the people of Jammu and Kashmir always wanted, and that is now happening in Jammu and Kashmir. And this is what is now irking Pakistan, because it is not happening in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. There the people are still chanting the slogans of we want Azadi, Attarawadi from the Pakistan. How dare Pakistan organize election here and whatnot. So Pakistan wants the same situation here in Jammu and Kashmir, and that's why they are now into this action plan that they have developed, this toolkit, which they are trying to defame India using the social media. Even the foreign ministry of the Pakistan is also part of this propaganda that is being spread against India. So they want not only their unofficial channels, the DGISPR, but also the Pakistani foreign ministry, even the official Twitter handle of the government of Pakistan. They are into this propaganda that Pakistan is trying to spread. So they know that they can only do this to an extent of social media, because they have tried pushing in terrorists into the Indian territory, and they saw what happened. They tried to carry out attacks like Pulwama 2019 February, and they saw what happened in Balakot. So they know a repercussion of each and everything, and that's why they have now restricted them to just social media.
So several important points that are being now coming out from this entire toolkit, Gursimran. We'll go back to our guest, Major General Rajan Kochhar. If we take a closer look at this entire toolkit, not the first time Pakistan is trying to do this, but this looks like another desperate attempt by Pakistan, because remember, in a way, they have lost their narrative on Kashmir, which they wanted to present to the world, and they have been doing so for several years now. Apart from that, we have seen the situation in Kashmir improving since the abrogation of Article 370. The people in Kashmir have also welcomed the move and also the developmental projects that are coming up. In a way, it seems like these are desperate times for Pakistan, because they are also losing their support on the issue of POK as well.
Richa, you're absolutely right. Pakistan is taking a leaf out of the Chinese three-war strategy. One of the components of that strategy is psychological and media warfare. China has been resorting to this for a number of years, and therefore I have a strong suspicion that this is a kind of a nexus between the Chinese and Pakistanis to follow this kind of a strategy. The second aspect is you have seen the economic situation in Pakistan today. Pakistan is in the FATF grey list. It is not able to get any loans from the World Bank or from the IMF. 30% of the Pakistani budget is related to debt financing. So you can imagine the kind of impact this loans is making to Pakistan, and therefore it is going to China for getting these loans at a very high interest rate. And the entire geopolitical situation is now developing in Afghanistan, where the realignment of forces also taking place. So Pakistan is starting to lose its relevance, and that is why these kind of strategies are being played by Pakistan in the Indian subcontinent.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, stay with us, sir. We're also joined by Major General S.P. Sinha, who's joining us over the phone line. So once again, Republic accessing this Pakistan's Kashmir toolkit. They are, in a way, in a desperate position, once again, trying to create a narrative, a global narrative, just 10 days before the Independence Day celebrations, with the help of their own officials and others and other social media influencers. Your first reaction to this?
You see, Pakistan's obsession with Jammu and Kashmir, historically we know that Pakistan is not able to digest or accept the fact that Jammu and Kashmir is integral part of India. Legally, Maharaja Hari Singh signed an instrument of accession with India and merged with India. Therefore, legally, this property is ours. There is no question whether it is United Nations or Pakistan trying to raise this question, trying to say that this is a disputed area. It may be disputed area in the minds of Pakistan, but as far as India is concerned, this is our property and nobody can challenge it. That's one. Secondly, Pakistan is using a Muslim card and Pakistan feels that eventually it will be able to grab Jammu and Kashmir. Now it is a utopian dream. It cannot happen. Pakistan was banking on certain politicians, certain political parties. I would not like to name them. You know it very well. And Pakistan was banking on them for their support. Pakistan was funding them. Pakistan had won their loyalty because of religious factor. So now because of Article 370 gone and political relevance of these two political parties totally in disarray, so Pakistan knows that its position is very, very weak now. But Pakistan does not want to give up. It wants to keep sensitizing the issue so that it attracts international media, it attracts attention of United Nations, and the Jammu and Kashmir remains in the news. And that is the essence of the toolkit. We have to understand this. So Pakistan wants to be in news. Pakistan wants to draw mileage. Pakistan wants to sensitize the world media and international fora. That is the game. That is the ball game. I want to ask Pakistan, when you cannot look after your own people, when your economy is total disarray, why you want to grab somebody else's property also? You see, the problem with India's political leadership has been, we have been very, very soft in the past towards Pakistan. Why did we return 93,000 prisoners to Pakistan on a platter? Why didn't we bargain or negotiate and ask Pakistan, we will return the prisoners, but you give us back the POK? Because Bhutto was told by Pakistan army that whatever Indra asks, give it to him, but don't come back empty-handed. Why did we lose this golden opportunity? Somewhere down the line, the political leadership has let us down. We in armed forces shed blood. Our soldiers, officers die. And on the negotiating table, we give it back. Why did we give back Hajipir in 65 hours? Why? With a lot of, you know how much bloodshed has to be shed before we grab enemy's property and we return over a cup of tea? Why should we fight then? If the property that we grab from enemy has to be returned, why grab our enemy's property? Because enemy property, when we grab, that has to be used as bargaining tool to put pressure on the enemy. We lose that opportunity every time. 1947, we were winning. We were advancing. We were advancing very fast. Why did Nehru go to United Nations? We have no geopolitical, our thinking of certain political leaders has been absolutely weak, very weak. We have to be very, very strong. We have to follow Israeli model. Satam Satyam Samacharet. People who understand a particular language, they have to be replied in that language. You cannot be treated as a soft state. If you are treated as a soft state, everybody will take you for right.
Right.
Shimla meeting was a very, very crucial meeting. If I was, I cannot be at the hem of affairs, but if somebody had taken my advice, there's no question we would have got POK back. We could have got Balochistan independent.
Right.
Because Pakistan army was willing to give everything.
All right, Major General S.P. Sinha, thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast. We'll go back to Brigadier Anil Gupta. Brigadier Anil Gupta, that is a very important and relevant point that has been raised by Mr. Sinha. If you can also share your perspective of what can be India's response here, and how do you think we can elevate this issue on an international platform? Because remember, Pakistan is certainly trying to change sentiments on a global level with hiring social media influencers and other anti-India voices.
You see, Richa, these social media activists, I call them keypad jihadis. They are worse than the actual jihadis. Because the actual jihadis, the terrorists, they come in and they get eliminated. But these keypad jihadis are the ones which are spreading venom against India. Now, why Pakistan is doing all this? Pakistan is vulnerable today in POJK. Recently held elections in POJK has not been accepted by the people. They have been rejected. There is Pakistan, the POJK is on the boil. There's trouble there. Pakistan wants to divert that attention. What India should do? India should highlight the POJK issue. India should highlight the Balochistan issue. See, the entire Pakistan other than Punjab is a tinderbox. We must try and highlight through social media, through international media, project the problem of the Baluchis, project the problem of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, what is happening to China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, how the locals are resisting against the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and how China is forcibly sending its own troops to ensure the security of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. China-Pakistan nexus to suppress the Pakistanis is what India should play up in the international media and through social media.
Absolutely. All right. Going across to Major General Rajan Kochhar as well. Major General Rajan Kochhar, what do you think that India can do on an international platform? Because remember, in a way, India does have the support of global powers who have also welcomed the abrogation of Article 370. We have seen so many country representatives coming to the Valley area post that as well. Do you think that that has also startled Pakistan somewhere?
Yes, see, we need to adopt a three-pronged strategy. The first part of the strategy is that all our foreign missions, all our ambassadors and high commissioners, they have to regularly project the kind of stand India has taken on Jammu and Kashmir. And it has already been done. So slightly more on that. Second strategy is that we also have the social media with us. We can also exploit the social media the way the Pakistanis are trying to do it. And we have a large number of people, a young population who are there on the social media. We have our IT specialists. We have all kinds of technologies and platforms available to us. So we can also exploit that. And the third part of the strategy is Afghanistan. We have to grab this opportunity now in concert with the United States. Today, Afghanistan, if it goes to Taliban, it can make Pakistan even more stronger. So we need to engage immediately with the Talibanis. We have to engage with the US. US is trying to establish air bases in Kazakhstan and all these areas so that it can influence this offensive which the Taliban is actually making. And let me assure the viewers that there is a wrong impression going in the media that US has withdrawn. It may have withdrawn from Afghanistan physically, but US is still very much in the scheme of things. And we need to exploit this situation right now in Afghanistan. And I feel that India has to play a more stronger role as far as Afghanistan is concerned. The shoe has to actually...
Absolutely. All right. Taking a quick question from Shivani as well, who's also tracking these developments. Sorry to interrupt you there, sir. Shivani, help us understand what any response that we have received so far on this entire issue of this toolkit that we have accessed from the government side, because this is not the first time Pakistan is attempting this kind of propaganda, global propaganda against the country.
Definitely, Richa, since the story has been broken on Republic, we have busted this gang supported by Pakistan, and Pakistan is getting slammed not only in India but across the globe also on this particular agenda, on this false agenda of malifying India's image. And more is to come. The story is still developing. We are in touch with all officials who are saying they will go about this whole exposure very soon with a new stand. But what we should understand here, Richa, is that Pakistan is getting slammed not only by Afghanistan, not only by United States, but many nations. And it has also done a lot of lobbying to push itself out of the FATF grey list, but that also did not happen. And once again, Pakistan is trying to fund these lobbyists across the globe for Kashmir issue. And soon there will be a rejection coming in from all the nations across the world on this particular issue also, because everybody is seeing the progress of Jammu and Kashmir in last 2 years and how the government of India is going about cracking down the terror nexus, not only in the country, but also supporting global peacekeeping missions across the globe.